Guys, this is Mr. Joshy J, and this is your driver ratings and team ratings for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. Now, we didn't do driver ratings and team ratings at the Belgium Grand Prix because I just was not in the mood to, because it was never a race. But this time I am back, business as usual, with driver ratings and team ratings, where, if you've not watched this before, I rate the drivers' performances from this weekend and also the team's performances, like how I think they've done with their pit stops and strategies and that. So let's get to it. As always, we're going to start off with the front two. As it's Max Verstappen's home race, I think it's only fair this time round we start with Red Bull, so that's what I'm going to do. So, right, Red Bull, Max Verstappen, 10 out of 10. Absolutely fantastic this weekend. Dominated that Grand Prix. Mercedes just did not have an answer to keep up with Max Verstappen this weekend. P1 in qualifying, P1 in the race. He had an answer for everything Mercedes tried to overtake him, but at the end of the day, this weekend, Max Verstappen just too good for everyone else. Sergio Perez, 5. Yep, 5 for Perez. He did well to finish in the points, because literally I wrote off his chances of finishing in the points when he only qualified to P16, but you can only give him a 5 because that horse shit qualifying, P16 in a Red Bull, you need to be at 4th at least in a Red Bull. Not good enough that by Sergio Perez and Red Bull, so that is why for the horseshit qualifying, I'm giving him a 5. Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton, 8 out of 10. Yep, Lewis Hamilton, P2 in qualifying, P2 in the race. Missed a lot of FP2 due to an engine issue where he was told to pull over. The Dutch crowd, obviously they cheered, but I gotta say respect to the Dutch crowd this weekend. They could have booed Hamilton, but they were very respectful to Hamilton, so I admire the Dutch crowd and that. But yeah, look, this weekend Hamilton there's nothing he could have done about Max Verstappen's pace, but he still picks up decent points and picks up the extra championship points for fastest lap. So it's going to be an interesting weekend at Monza, let's admit it. Valtteri Bottas, 8 out of 10. Yep, did very well in practice. Obviously got out-qualified by Hamilton. And then second half of the race, and he was decent in the second half of the race, but still not good enough to beat Lewis Hamilton. And the way he moved over in that and played the team game, just Bottas knows his fate has been sealed, that he is not a Mercedes driver for next season. And I really hope we don't have to wait too much longer for the announcement to be made. But yeah, just Bottas, to me, he knows he's lost his Mercedes seat. McLaren, Lando Norris, 5 out of 10, just poor in qualifying and better in the race. I don't know what it is sometimes, like McLaren. They go through phases where they're good and not so good. Daniel Ricciardo, 5 out of 10. Again, he's good in qualifying but poor in the race. It's like role reversal. But yeah, not quite good enough again by Daniel Ricciardo, but he did better in qualifying, so I will give him a bit of credit. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, 7 out of 10. P5 in qualifying and P5 in the race, I believe. Definitely got P5 in the race. Being a boring race for Leclerc, he was really stuck in the middle and the midfield. So at the same time, solid weekend. Carlos Sainz, 5 out of 10, had a big crash in FP2. Ferrari were able to repair his car now and get him out for qualifying, but, a bit of a quiet race for Carlos Sainz, so, yeah, 5 out of 10 for me. Alpine, Fernando Alonso, 8 out of 10, absolutely fantastic in the practice sessions, where he's about P5, P6. Surprisingly, he only got P9 in the race, but he got P6 in the race. Absolutely fantastic. We are definitely seeing the Fernando Alonso of old, the world's class Fernando Alonso. Esteban Ocon, 5 out of 10. Not the best of weekends at Esteban Ocon. Looked like he was really struggling in the race, so, yep, 5 out of 10 for Ocon. AlphaTauri, Pierre Gasly, 10 out of 10. Absolutely 10 for Pierre Gasly. P4 in qualifying, P4 in the race. Absolutely superb. Absolutely 100% wipes the floor with Yuki Tsunoda all weekend, like he does most races. Yuki Tsunoda, 0. Absolutely 0. Now, you may think I'm being a bit harsh giving a 0, as this is a new track for anyone, but you have to be brutally honest, P17 in qualifying, and then later retired in the race, so a weekend to forget for Yuki Tsunoda. Aston Martin, Sebastian Vettel, 0. Absolutely 0. He was held up in qualifying by the 2 Haas cars, which that was not his fault, but then in the race, absolutely nowhere, spun the car, terrible mistake, and a weekend to forget for the German driver. Lance Stroll, 4 out of 10, not the best of weekends for Lance Stroll. And for Aston Martin, really it was a poor weekend for the Aston Martin team. Yeah, so, yeah, not the best of weekends for them. Right. Yeah, we've done Alpine, Aston Martin. I'll do Alfa Romeo next. Alfa Romeo, Kimi Raikkonen, 5 out of 10. Course took part in the practice and then unfortunately was out the rest of the weekend after a positive COVID-19 test. So Robert Kubica come in to take his place. Robert Kubica, 10. For me, absolute 10. Called into the car at short notice and performed absolutely fantastically. P18 in qualifying and P15 in the race. Solid by Robert Kubica. No mistakes in the race. Fantastic driving. Antonio Giovinazzi, 8 out of 10. He was like P9 in qualifying, started qualifying, won the stars of qualifying, but unfortunately had a puncture in the race and ended up finishing P14. I mean, he still beat Robert Kubica, but, Giovinazzi definitely got unlucky with that puncture, but, yeah, solid weekend, really, for Antonio Giovinazzi. The puncture, not his fault. Haas, now this is going to be an interesting one. Nikita Mazepin, 0. Absolutely 0. He spins in practice, spins in the race, tried to put his teammate Mick Schumacher into the wall or off the track. Useless, absolutely useless by Nikita Mazepin. Not good enough, well and truly out of his step. Absolutely shocking by... Oh, who's his name? I just said it. Mazepin, that's it. Shocking by Mazepin. Oh, my mind's went blank a second. So, yeah, not good enough by Nikita Mazepin. Well and truly out of his step. Should be nowhere near the F1 grid. But he'll still be here next season because of sponsorship and money and all that bullshit. So, yeah. Mick Schumacher, 1 out of 10, Not the best of weekends to Mick Schumacher this weekend. I thought he struggled a bit, so, yeah. horseshit weekends really for the Haas team. Well, it is most of the time, to be fair, but this weekend, extra horseshit in my opinion. Williams, George Russell, 0. Oh, this one hurts, but absolutely 0, He made that awful mistake in qualifying. He's on a really quick lap, got onto the curb and spun it into the wall, damaged his Williams, and then in the race was struggling for pace, really. I think he qualified to P12 for 11, but and then pitted about 3 times in the race and then later retired. So definitely a weekend to forget for George Russell. As you say, as I said before, 0s may be harsh because this is a new circuit for everyone, but you have to be brutally honest. George Russell was just not good enough this weekend. I'm sorry, he wasn't, Yeah, not good enough by George Russell. Nicholas Latifi, 1. Yep, 1 out of 10 for me, Spun in qualifying, damaged his Williams, brought out a red flag, was struggling for pace in the race. So, but really, a race to forget for the Williams team. So that is the driver ratings done. Team ratings, Red Bull. I mean, I would love to give them 10, but I had to mark them down for sending Perez out for so late in qualifying. So I'll give them a 7 out of 10, I think. As I said, I would love to give them 10 because the way they did the pit stops with Max Verstappen and the way Max Verstappen controlled the race, it deserves a 10, but you have to mark them down. Mercedes, 8 out of 10. Solid for them, P2 and P3. Decent points and still leading the Constructors' Championship, I believe. Because obviously Perez finished lower down. McLaren, 4 out of 10, not the best of weekends for them this weekend. Bit of a weekend to forget. And Alpine, 6 out of 10. Great for Fernando Alonso, but Esteban Ocon really struggled this weekend. Ferrari, miss out on Ferrari, I think. So Ferrari's weekend, 6 out of 10. Good for Leclerc, but Sainz really struggled. AlphaTauri, 7 out of 10 for them, But again, for Yuki Tsunoda's performance, I am marking them down slightly. Aston Martin, really 4 out of 10 for them. Shocking weekend. Aston Martin this weekend, it just was not happening for them this weekend. Alfa Romeo, 8 out of 10. I thought they performed really well this weekend, Honestly, Kimi Raikkonen wasn't able to take part in qualifying and the race, but Kubica did amazing, and so did Antonio Giovinazzi, but as I said before, Giovinazzi was really unlucky with the puncture. Haas, 0 out of 10. Horseshit for them. Absolutely awful. And Williams, 0 out of 10. Awful weekend for them as well. So there you have it. That is the driver ratings done. Team ratings done for the Zandvoort Grand Prix. The Dutch Grand Prix in Holland. Now, I really enjoyed this Grand Prix. It was a much better Grand Prix than what I was expecting it to be honest. So I say it was a success, and seeing all them orange t-shirts, absolutely fantastic. Now, Mercedes, I saw on their Facebook page, actually posted an orange Mercedes t-shirt. I mean, I'm not a fan of orange, but I mean, an orange Mercedes t-shirt, count me in. I would definitely wear that. I mean, that is good sense of humour, that, from Mercedes. They are so funny on their social media pages, Mercedes. They really are. But yeah, join me for a preview on Wednesday to the Monza Grand Prix. I cannot wait for that one. One of my favourite tracks on the calendar. I love Monza. Such a fast circuit with straight lines. Bring it on. And let's see who has the advantage over that weekend, Mercedes or Red Bull. Bye-bye.